Welcome to Dear Fans. Trump declares national emergency at U.S. Mexico border, a critical move to address immigration and security concerns. In a significant and controversial move, former President Donald Trump officially declared a national emergency at the U.S. Mexico border, citing an urgent need to address illegal immigration, drug trafficking, and border security. The announcement, made during a live speech, marked one of the most consequential moments of his administration and sparked immediate debate among lawmakers, legal experts, and the American public. Background of the National Emergency Declaration. The declaration of a national emergency is a rare and powerful tool used by U.S. presidents to bypass standard legislative procedures in situations deemed urgent. Under the National Emergencies Act of 1976, a president has the authority to declare a national emergency, granting the executive branch extraordinary powers to address crises without congressional approval. Trump's decision to invoke this authority for border security issues was met with both praise from his supporters and backlash from critics who viewed it as an overreach of executive power. For months leading up to the declaration, the Trump administration had emphasized the challenges posed by illegal immigration, gang-related violence, and the smuggling of drugs and human trafficking across the southern border. Trump had long argued that the existing barriers and patrols were insufficient to handle the scale of the crisis, and he made building a border wall a central promise of his 2016 presidential campaign. Key justifications for the declaration. During his speech, Trump outlined several key reasons for declaring a national emergency at the southern border. These included rising illegal immigration. Trump pointed to the increasing number of undocumented immigrants attempting to cross the border. He argued that many of these individuals were entering the country without proper vetting, which he claimed posed potential security risks. Drug trafficking concerns. The former president highlighted the role of cartels and drug smuggling networks that exploit weak border security. He cited statistics showing significant amounts of heroin, fentanyl, and methamphetamine entering the U.S. through the southern border. Human trafficking and criminal activities. Trump also spoke about the dangers of human trafficking, particularly concerning vulnerable women and children being smuggled across the border. He linked weak border security to criminal activities conducted by transnational gangs such as MS-13. The need for a border wall. Central to Trump's emergency declaration was the construction of a border wall. He argued that physical barriers were the most effective way to prevent illegal crossings and curb criminal activities. Despite Congress refusing to allocate full funding for the wall, the emergency declaration would allow him to redirect military funds for its construction. Political and legal reactions. The announcement sparked intense political debate, with reactions falling largely along partisan lines. Support from Republicans. Many Republican lawmakers and conservative commentators defended Trump's decision, arguing that the border situation warranted immediate action. They praised him for taking bold steps to fulfill his campaign promise and ensure national security. Opposition from Democrats. On the other hand, Democratic leaders strongly opposed the move, calling it an abuse of presidential power. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer accused Trump of manufacturing a crisis to justify bypassing Congress. They argued that the real crisis was humanitarian in nature, requiring more diplomatic and economic solutions rather than military measures. Legal challenges. Within hours of the declaration, legal experts and civil rights organizations prepared lawsuits to challenge its legitimacy. Critics argued that the situation at the border did not meet the legal definition of a national emergency and that Trump was setting a dangerous precedent for future presidents. Impact on U.S. border policy. Trump's declaration had immediate consequences for border security operations, law enforcement, and immigration policy. The emergency order allowed the administration to divert funds from military construction projects and other government programs to finance the wall's construction. This move led to concerns among military officials and local governments who relied on those funds for critical infrastructure projects. In addition to funding the border wall, the emergency declaration prompted increased border enforcement measures. More National Guard troops were deployed to assist Customs and Border Protection (CBP) agents, and new technology and surveillance equipment were introduced to monitor border activity more effectively. Public reaction and media coverage. The American public reacted to the emergency declaration with mixed opinions. Trump's core supporters viewed it as a necessary and courageous step to protect the country from illegal immigration and crime. Many conservatives celebrated the move as a fulfillment of Trump's long-standing campaign promise to secure the border. However, many others, including independents and moderate conservatives, expressed concerns about the long-term implications of such a declaration. Some feared that declaring a national emergency for border security could set a precedent for future presidents to use emergency powers in non-traditional ways. Media coverage of the announcement was extensive, with networks such as CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC providing live analysis and expert opinions. Conservative outlets largely framed the decision as a victory for border security, while liberal-leaning media questioned the legitimacy of the crisis and emphasized the potential constitutional issues. Trump's decision to declare a national emergency at the U.S. Mexico border was one of the most contentious and impactful moves of his presidency. While his supporters saw it as a necessary step to protect the nation, his opponents viewed it as an overreach of power that undermined democratic institutions. As the debate over immigration and border security continues in the U.S., Trump's declaration remains a key moment in the broader discussion of presidential authority, congressional oversight, and the nation's approach to immigration policy. Whether seen as a bold action or an unconstitutional maneuver, the decision undeniably shaped the political landscape and set the stage for ongoing discussions on border security and executive power. Like this video and subscribe this channel. Thank you.